Hello everybody, it's Joanna here, Joanna the Medium. Thank you so much for tuning in. These are going to be your general readings for the month of April 2017. And just like before, I have a slight change again in the way I did it. And Spirit keeps me on my toes. And I just think it's exciting that every month they ask me to do something different. So I think you'll enjoy it because I'm actually separating the reading into different categories. So what I have done in this month of April, I am using only major arcana cards as the overall energy for the month, and then I'm also using the chakra cards to see what chakra will be affected in April. For the remaining of the reading, I have separated them into three categories: love, relationships, money, career, and health. And then I'm using my soul cards so that you can get a feeling of what you get, which you guys really liked last time. And then I give you my interpretation. Now, the month of April seems to be interesting. I actually did the readings over three weeks or so I don't remember all of them. They tend to be a little bit longer this month than last month, and I'm not sure why that's happening. So I'm going to try to keep a lid on it, because sometimes if they get too long, then it gets a little bit boring. But what I wanted to say is this: if some information doesn't relate to you to relationships, maybe the information will connect with you with regards to money or health. So that's why I separated them, because lots of people want to hear different categories, and having them separated, I thought it was actually a great idea when my guide decided that we should do this. And I think next month I'm going to be using different cards again. So I'm keeping it interesting, and I hope you like all the different ways that I do this. It's different and it's kind of exciting, and you never know what to expect. So it certainly keeps me on my toes, and I hope that you enjoy it. I don't think there's anything else other than please tune into my radio show. If you would like to go and to my website and sign up for the newsletter, I will be sending out information with the show dates and also when free readings will take place. So go ahead, sign up, and I will send that to you. And I think that's all I have. So I hope you enjoy them. And of course, please, if you would like a private reading, you can check with me. That information is down below for you. And those are general readings here. So they will not apply to all of you, but they will apply to those who are meant to hear it. And without further ado, also please check out Vimeo videos if you would like for more extended readings. And I think that's all I have. See you in May. Enjoy April, and talk to you soon. Without further ado, let's get going. Hello Leos, this is going to be your reading for the month of April 2017. I have 5 cards face down. I'm using 2 different decks, as I mentioned. And this is a general reading, so it's not going to apply to everybody. When I was meditating on you with regards to the overall energy in the month of April 2017, I kept seeing several things. Number one, there was a definite feel of fast movement in a certain area of your life. For some of you, this is going to be regarding work, so we will see what the work card says. And for some of you, this is going to be regarding some other project. It could be relationship, but there's an energy of fast movement, so we'll see what the card is. I also kept seeing with this fast movement, although things will be moving fast and sometimes maybe a little bit furious, there seems to be a bit of a need to take a seat, back seat. And I was trying to actually wrap my head around that message, because fast movement, yet you're being asked to take a seat back. And this taking seat back is to do with reflection. At the same time, as you reflect, there is a need for patience here. So it seems like you will be the energy is fast moving, and you will be watching something unfold or unravel while you take a step back or take a back seat and be patient while this thing is unraveling. And this is going to be, aside from the fact that it's energy, it's going to connect to different aspects of life for different, for all of you, but in different ways. Now, I also kept seeing a couple more things. Number 7, which is you guys have a birthday in July, some of you, and 8, which is August. But aside from that, I'm going to just turn my music down. Aside from that, those 2 numbers signify something a little bit bigger for me, and that is you mastering, again, something about yourself. This is an emotional aspect of you mastering an emotional aspect of yourself that you've been working on for quite some time. And when I ask what this is, again, it's pointing me to the number 8, which is all about power. It's all about confidence. It's all about your own resolutions, how you feel about yourself, the ground you stand on, meaning how solid do you feel on the ground that you stand, and this is a metaphor. Basically, how sure you are of yourself in a specific aspect. So for some of you, this could be relationship. Some of you, this is going to be career. Some of you, it's going to be health, and some of you, it's going to be overall. So this is just energy. Now, again, the word patience came up a few times, so let's see what the card says. So the actual card that represents the energy for the month of April is, it's the Tower. So in this case, it's disruption. And if this is number 16, Major Arcana, don't panic. I actually like this card. Some people take this card in a negative way. I actually don't. Whenever I see this card, I want to rejoice. The word rejoice comes up. And the reason why I want to rejoice is because fundamentally, you will be changing, or there's an energy of change. And it could also signify that the change that you will be going through is going to be quite swift and quite chaotic. Now, chaotic doesn't necessarily mean bad, but it does mean that, you might feel a little bit uncomfortable. And the taking the seat back and reflection is actually very pertinent, because when we fundamentally change, when our foundation, so to speak, is being revamped or restructured, it is a good time for us to reflect. Or perhaps because you start to reflect, you are going to start changing fundamentally. So it's so it doesn't matter which order it goes in. Point is, it's an energy of Tower. Now, Tower is when, from a traditional tarot deck or the Rider-Waite deck, when a Tower is presented, it often brings chaos with it. But again, and I actually wrote chaos. Chaos doesn't have to be negative. It simply means that it will put you in a state of confusion a little bit, maybe a little bit uncomfortable feeling. Maybe you will feel like your foundation is feeling a little bit unsure, which is, again, what we talked about is, the number 8 and how you feel about yourself. So definite change is in the works. And the good news is that the energy seems to be quite swift, so it won't last very long. And I feel this a little bit like a bit of a tornado. Now, this kind of a tornado that I see, it does not destroy the houses or the things that I see, but it does leave the environment needing some improvement. So I'm gonna leave that as a metaphor. Now, the other thing is, he's asking me to say, this is number 16. For those of you who can see, if you add 1 and 6, there's the number 7. So the energy of April is interesting. I actually like it because I feel like you're reaching a brand new level of your evolution, and it's going to get a little bit uncomfortable for some of you. But again, the uncomfortableness is not because there is something bad. You're going to be shaken a little bit because things are going to be changing, but for the most part, they will be changing for the better. It's just that the status quo is going to be a little bit uproot it for you. And since we are creatures of habit, we don't like change very much. So let's see how that goes, okay? Now, I don't want you to panic because I actually feel a lot of excitement with this. And I'm going to go a little bit further. He says, with the Tower energy, some doors will close in order for other doors to open. So if in the month of April you end up seeing things leaving you, jobs, other circumstances, relationships, people, it is only because there is something better in the horizon for you, and what you have currently had up until this point has served its purpose. Basically, you are ready for the next step. And sometimes we have to be pushed a little bit in order to get there. Okay, so the next card is the chakra that will be most affected. And when I was actually meditating on it, he said to me, your solar plexus is going to be affected. So let's see what card actually showed up. Interesting. So I just got chills. Your root chakra, and it was shown to me in reverse. All it says to me is that there will be a moment where you will feel like your very stability is feeling rocky. First chakra is all about, and I'll go to the reason, I'll go why he was also saying the third chakra, because third chakra is all about confidence and power. First chakra, it's about safety, stability, and security. And I feel this is coming up because it is connected to money. So for some of you, you will be losing a job. You will be changing jobs. There will be changes around work. And this is significant changes that will make you initially feel like, and that's the Tower. When a Tower happens, your foundation is being restructured. Well, first chakra, or the root chakra, is your foundation. So it's actually it's actually exciting. Okay, I'm also hearing the words, you are rebuilding, or you are building your new future. So for most of you, or for many of you, not all of you, you are in a process of building a brand new future for yourself, which means some of the old things have to be dismantled. Now, it's exciting. I'll talk about the third chakra later because I'm already looking at the clock. So each individual category, the card relating to relationships and love, I'm going to hold the card for you. Trying to see which way this goes. And then notice what you feel, what comes up to you. What I feel when I get this card, I actually hear the words relax, peace, relax and peace. Everything is okay. So let me tune into this. Now, for those of you who are experiencing, I'm noticing some reds over here as well. For those of you who are experiencing some changes in your work environment, the good thing to know is that your relationship is okay. Now, if you are not in a relationship, your relationships in other areas are there to support you. Okay, for those of you who are going through changes in your relationship, okay, the Tower, it is, I keep hearing the words, you're okay, you're okay, you're okay. So there's definite feel of you needing some comforting here in the area of relationship. And I feel it has to do with the Tower in the month of April. Now, let me just see if I can tune into each category independently. So for those who are single, those who are in a relationship already. For those of you who are in a relationship, whether it's long-term, short-term, whatever it is, if you are coupled with somebody, there seems to be some challenge you will need to overcome in the month of April. The challenge is to do with a commitment. So for some of you, you will be at crossroads, or you are at crossroads, or you will feel like you are at crossroads, or your relationship is at crossroads. And there is a need for you to make some significant changes. Again, the Tower comes up, okay? These changes that are needing to be made are necessary in order for you to keep going or start your new future. If it remains status quo, I hear the word you will relapse. That's really interesting. Relapse is not a word that I would use with regards to relationships, because the word relapse often is used together with addictions. But maybe some of you are in a relationship where there are challenges with being codependent or too dependent on one another. Maybe there is an addiction problem in your relationship, or there is a substance abuse, and you are coming to a place where you're reaching the end of your rope and things have to change. Some of you, this means you will be thinking of pulling a plug on something, or you will be pulling a plug on someone, meaning, and this is actually starting to spill into other areas. For those of you who are either in a relationship with someone, either romantically or otherwise, and you have been enabling their addiction, you are going to pull the plug and you are going to say no more. Okay? So that's spilling already to different areas. For those of you who are single, again, this could signify that you are, keep hearing the words, you are safe, you are safe. But I can't help to notice that there's quite a bit of red, almost like a bit bloody, and there's a lot of orange. So red is your first chakra, which is all about safety and security in the physical world. Second chakra is all about feeling safe in intimate relationships and in community and groups. So definitely there is a bit of a challenge that will be happening for some of you, not for all of you, in the month of April. My guide says, tell them they're going to be okay no matter what happens, okay? And there is an aspect for some of you of needing to let go of something, and it's going to be challenging. And this, when you hear this, I don't feel this is going to be like, I don't feel this is going to be news to you. This is going to, for the most part, confirm some of the things that you have already been feeling. Okay, so it is a bit of a confirmation. But remember, the Tower is, there are some major changes in your foundation happening in the month of April. And it is going to affect your first chakra, which is safety and security. Okay, so that's relationships. You're going to be okay and you are safe. That's the word that's being said. No, obviously that's not going to apply to all of you, thank God. And for those of you who does apply, you most likely already know what I'm talking about. Okay, now let's get into more a little bit fun part, which is money and career. And again, I'm going to, oh, beautiful. I love when this card shows up. Thank you. So this is pretty self-explanatory, I would say, and this does connect to work and career, or career and money. Birth, this is pretty, birth. And notice the way this lady, because she has breasts, is her body is positioned. She is not straining, she is in a very vulnerable position, but she's allowing the birth to occur. She's not pushing, she's not in distress, she is just allowing the process naturally to occur. Now, when I look at the thing that it's birthing, that she is birthing, it looks to me like a diamond. Notice there's a lot of green in here, okay? So whatever she is birthing, and this is with work, she is birthing a new idea, she's birthing a new project, she's birthing a new way of thinking with regards to money, possessions, security, when it comes to physical aspect of it, the earth energy. For those of you who are going through the change in your career, you are going through the change because you are ready to birth a new way of expressing yourself. Now, whether this expression is through art or through a different way of doing work or through different work environment. There is definitely birth of something new that is happening. As I talk about this, I keep seeing money. So there is definitely birth of new money coming in or entering your life. Now, this money could be as a result of you doing something about it, the universe doing it for you, as in, you know, moving you gently from one place to another. This could also be a gift. This could also be something that you receive as... I keep hearing the word project most prominently. Now, project could be anything from a project, huge work project, or it could be that you are, your work is project based, and all of a sudden you take on a different client and you do things differently, or you start to do things differently. Okay. For those of you who are looking for work or who are looking to switch career, he's saying to me there's a major change happening with that. And I hear the months May and June. So the energy of the Tower is starting in April, and you will, and I hear the word shake up, you will feel this, and as a result you will find yourself in a different place of employment, or in a brand new place of employment, somewhere between May and June. So that is a bit of a forecast, if you will. But bottom line is, you are birthing something new in a sector of career and money. Okay. For those of you who are looking to get money, and this could be loan for mortgage or something, I feel like the doors are all of a sudden opening for you. I feel like it has been push, 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 and now all of a sudden, well, push, right? And all of a sudden the doors are starting to open. Again, he's saying, please have patience. There is a swift movement with this. So even though there is swift movement, there's a need for contemplation here. And the contemplation is, what do I want to do next? What's the next step? What step do I want to take next? And he's saying, don't hesitate to take a moment and pause to realize or decide of what it is that you want for yourself. So if you are going to go through a work environment where there is a shakeup and you end up leaving your employer, or they end up letting you go, he says to me, blessing in disguise. So don't be discouraged. There is something better happening. And maybe you've been wanting to explore different possibilities, but you just didn't have the guts, if you will, to pull the plug on a paycheck, which including myself, I've done that before, and eventually things kind of went sideways, and now I do what I do. So always remember that there is something better out there for you. Now, he's reminding me that the energies that I kept feeling were the energies of 7 and 8. 7 is mastering your confidence, mastering your patience, mastering confidence, and also 8 is power. So he says, don't sell yourself short, don't put yourself down, and most certainly don't give yourself away. Now, this is work environment. So don't undervalue yourself. I'm seeing clenching teeth. It's like you're clenching your teeth, you're nervous, you're nervous. There's a nervousness here with this new venture. And again, I hear the door shut. So for some of you, there's a door that's going to be shut behind you, and it's going to feel a little bit like, jarring. And that's the Tower. However, remember, he says there is something better out there for you. And I keep stressing this. Even though the messages are a little bit wonky, not wonky, that's the wrong word. They're a little bit maybe disconcerting to some because of the Tower. Remember what he said at the very beginning. This is a brand new beginning for you. Okay? In order for the brand new beginning to start happening, some doors need to close. And this is a good thing. Okay? Now he's referring to March. Why are you referring to March? He says, for some of you, you knew this was going to happen in March. So whatever this knowing that you had in March, whether it was intuition, whether you had some knowledge, whether it was a combination of both of those things seem to be happening now or will in the month of May and June. So please be patient. Okay. Now, the area of health, again, I'm going to show you the cards. Notice what you feel. Kind of interesting. It looks like this person is also almost wearing a hat that would be like nurse's hat. That's very interesting. Okay, now let's see what I feel from this. When I connect with this card, I feel like I'm letting fumes leave me. Now, the fumes that I'm connecting to is stress. I feel like I'm letting the universe take care of my health concerns. Then I'm being taken to my throat chakra. Some of you have a condition in your throat. And I hear the words, let the universe take care of you. Now, by no means am I saying, don't go see a doctor or don't do anything about it. But I hear the words pray. So for some of you, if you're dealing with some kind of a throat condition, he's asking you to pray. Why are you asking? Well, aside from the fact that it's obvious why, they're saying here, if you allow yourself to pray, you will then get into a frame of mind of having hope. And when one has hope, anything is possible. So this is more for those of you who are dealing with some kind of a health condition and you seem to be having a bit of a negative spin on it. And when I mean on it, you seem to be a bit of you have a tendency to be negative. Negative maybe with regards to what you're dealing with, maybe negative in nature, maybe you speak a lot with negativity, or you are not very optimistic and you're very pessimistic. So this could be an actual throat condition, or this could be some other health concern. And I just heard diabetes. So for some of you, you're dealing with diabetes, and I literally hear him say, let God help you. Now, I don't use the word God in readings, because I try to remain very neutral, because not everybody believes in God. But he clearly said this, that for some of you, this is going to make sense. So why is he saying, let God help you? And I hear, because they're stubborn as hell. So some of you are pretty stubborn. You're pretty determined that there is nothing there for you. There's nothing out there to help you. And maybe you're having a bit of a pity party, and that's okay. But always remind yourself that at a certain point, you have to let the pity party go, and then you have to get into a more positive frame of mind. I don't know why he's directing this to diabetes, but for those of you who are dealing with diabetes, if you are diabetic, if you are pre-diabetic, if you have any issues with insulin or sugar, notice if you have a negative spin on your on your thoughts. If you tend to be a negative Nelly, if you tend to be more of a pessimistic person, just notice, because he's making this link. And my understanding from a spiritual aspect is that people who deal with issues with blood sugar, they also have challenges with sweetness in their life. So I'm not going to explore it too much. Just notice if that applies to you. Okay? If it does, work on the way you treat yourself and the way you treat others. And obviously, I'm not saying you are not treating others well, but for those of you who are meant to hear this message, this is a direct, literally direct quote, okay? And then I hear the words, not everybody's out to get you. So how is this relating to health? Well, if some of you have the belief that everyone is out to get you, you will always live on the fence and you will always fear you being victimized. Okay, that in itself produces a whole host of problems, aside from the fact that it's bloody stressful to live like that all the time. So please examine your thoughts, please examine your beliefs. That is the biggest piece of information that I'm getting on the health component. There's one more thing here. He's talking about liver and pancreas. Please check, some of you. Obviously, this is not a diagnosis, nor is it a prediction. This is an existing condition. So if you have some challenges with your livers and your pancreas, and I actually wouldn't know how this would manifest, so I have no idea what the symptoms would be. Maybe you need to check your liver if you are not feeling well. So the reason why he's bringing this up, because I hear the words, well, pancreas is obviously connected to diabetes, to sugar. So that's connected right there. And liver, he's talking about anger and resentment. So just notice if you have some unresolved anger from your past. I hear the word parents. This could be anger from when you were young. I mean, you know, when we grow up and a whole bunch of stuff happens and we get angry. The problem is that we don't resolve it and we hold on to that anger. Then resentment festers and then we end up being, you know, carrying that energy over and over. So that's what I want to say as far as health. And I think that's all I have. He's just reminding me that when I kept seeing the number 8, it was all about power. For those of you who still feel anger and resentment towards someone who has hurt you in the past, you are continually giving away your power by staying angry or resentful. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but for those of you who are meant to hear it, I say it with love and I say it with absolute compassion. But please just ask yourself those questions and just notice if it's true for you, because it is coming up for some of you, and otherwise he wouldn't say it. Okay, and I think that's all I have. I hope this was helpful. Of course, if you would like a private reading, please email me. That information is down below. I will be honored to have a private session with you. Thank you so much for watching, for liking, for subscribing, and for watching. Of course, this means more to me than you will never know. Thank you so much again. If you want to comment, please go ahead. I love reading your comments, and I wish you a wonderful month of April, and see you soon. Bye.